Welcome back to our channel. Today we're doing a little, what would you call it? Like
life update, devotion, faith-based
video
episode.
Yeah, I don't know what this is
You
called.
should put them on like all the
What
way.
the Lord's been teaching us lately.
Oh, good. That's a
Yes.
good title.
Yeah.
Good. That'll be the title of it. What the Lord's been teaching us lately. Anywho,
It's been a while since we've done anything about faith. Probably over a year.
Yeah.
yeah, I think it
I
has
feel like
been.
we want to start doing that. At least I want to start doing that
A
more.
little bit more.
Yeah.
We talked about possibly starting it like once a month because Clissa's been talking about doing some Bible studies at her house, starting in a couple weeks probably. And we talked about maybe like once a month sitting down and doing a video and kind of like recapping the main ideas of those Bible studies into a video.
Yeah. So you can follow along with us
So yeah,
if you're interested in
if
that.
you're not able to come, then you can still watch the video.
Good
Yeah.
mind.
I thought of like multiple that kind of all tied in together, so I'll go ahead and start. But I feel like my like word for mine is being flexible, and flexibility is just the overarching theme. Because for me, like I like to hold on to things like really tightly, and I feel like we're all kind of bad with change.
Mhm.
And sometimes I find in my life that like I'm always planning for the next thing, or I'm always thinking about what I'm going to do tomorrow or what I'm going to do this afternoon or tonight, instead of just like focusing on what I'm supposed to be doing right now. Like even in the mornings when I'll do my Bible studies, like sitting there while I'm doing them, I'm like thinking about what else I should be doing or could be doing.
Yeah.
So I feel like just me
Being present.
being present and being flexible to change is also a thing. Like I talked about
What's
like
been changing lately?
well, I like just an example of like possibly not being able to do a video every single week. Like that's been a hard thing for me to grasp because I'm very like once I start something, I'm very like routine. I want it to come out every week. I want it to come out the same day, the same time. Like once I start something, I don't quit it. Like I'm very like I don't know what the word is, but driven, determined, I don't know, to like finish what I start and continue what I start. Committed, yeah.
I like
So
that's good.
once, which yeah, isn't a bad thing, but once I start something, sometimes it like is hard for me to be like, okay, this is a busy season right now for all of us, or it's busy for me right now, and it's okay to like step back from a couple of things and reevaluate what is important right now. So maybe that's not doing a video every week if we're all busy, or
So
just-
don't panic if that happens.
so just stuff like that like I hold on to really hard and I'm not very flexible about, that I find that just recently I've just been trying to be a little bit more flexible to change and to things being different and calming down a little bit.
Relax.
Relaxing.
That's good.
That's my lesson.
I feel like a lot of people can learn
Just
that
chill
right now.
out.
With
Chill
like
out.
spring cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the seasons bring a whole new level of go, go, go.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. I tell my kids the sun will rise tomorrow.
Exactly. And I find I enjoy my day so much more when I do just go with the flow more. When it's not so scheduled, so planned, like just let it go and life's a little bit more fun and easy. Yep, your
You're
turn.
done? Okay. I didn't want to interrupt. Yeah, that was really good. Mine, I feel like this has been on my heart for a long time, so I don't even know if this is something that the Lord has been teaching me lately. I feel like it's just been the last probably 5 years of my life. And it's been like a roller coaster. And I mean, you guys know all about this because I talk about it all the time. But I haven't really talked about it on here that much. And so I feel like my word would be trust. And it kind of goes along with yours, a little bit of release of control.
Yeah.
But for me, it's not necessarily busyness. It's about life stuff. And I feel like it keeps coming more and more as I get older. But anybody who knows me knows that my biggest desire right now is to just be married. And as I get older, and now I'm about to turn 25, and people in my life and my friends and Corinne and just people my age are like moving on with their lives, I feel like a lot of times I feel forgotten by God, and I feel like stuck because I feel like, I'm trying not to cry. I feel like
It's okay.
I'm not even like
It's okay to cry. You can put emotional
the whole
in
reason
the title.
the whole reason I wanted to do this is because I was feeling like really convicted and good about this morning, and even like last night. So these aren't like sad tears. There's so much like emotion surrounding this topic for me because I feel like the Lord has just been really convicting my heart to just like trust him. But that's so hard for me because I just want to know exactly what's going to happen with my life. And like, I want a crystal ball to just see like when my husband will be gifted to me and like or if, like I've kind of had to wrestle with that too of like, if my life doesn't turn out the way that I want it to look, like what then? And so I don't know, it's just this whole battle that I've been facing with like comparison and doubt that the Lord like has the best in mind for me, because I feel like we all have a tendency to like think that we know what's best for us, and then we try to like take control of it. And so I've just really been struggling with the Lord lately of like, do you really care about my life plan? Like, it seems like everybody else is getting what they want. Like, what about me? Like all those whiny like things that you hear kids say, that now that you find that that's like you. Anyway, so the Lord has been teaching me lately that I just really need to like trust the process and trust the season, because in hindsight, and I was just listening to a Lauren Daigle song this morning called Remember. And it was like, whenever the doubt starts to creep in and the pain starts to like you feel like you're being weighed down by like all the junk, like just remember all the ways that he's been faithful in the past. And so even just like reflecting on this last year of like my house and like the good things that have happened with you two and like my family and the trips I've been able to go on and the possible like the Bible study starting, and even like my past seasons of singleness where I've like been able to travel and do awesome things by myself that I never would have done had I had like a person to focus my energy on, that helps. So the Lord's just really been telling me to like trust the process, and each season brings something new that you can find happiness in, even if it isn't like quote unquote what you thought. So anyway, the Lord's been like bringing this into my life in so many ways lately, and so I thought I'd just show two of them. The one I kind of talked about in our spring favorites video, which was like Corinne and I now both have these rings from this company called Brian Anthony's, and they send you these little cards. So I'm gonna read this really quick. And then also this morning, the Lord like smacked me in the head with this devotion, so I figured I'd share pieces of it. This ring and this card that they sent with it are called No Comparison, and it just is talking about how like even if you think you aren't on the timeline that you want to be on, that's still okay. Because like I have some friends now who like I'm at the stage in my life where they're like struggling to get pregnant, or they're struggling with their finances because they lost their jobs with COVID. So even though they have the things that like I think would make my life perfect, like kids or a husband or XYZ, like there's still hardship. So it's just about not comparing no matter where you are in life. It says, your life is allowed to be your own. It is allowed to look different than those around you. You're not a failure because you are in a different place, and you're not behind because your timing does not align with the pace of others. Please remember that your worth is not defined by another person's life. Worthiness comes from within and from God, not from what's around. Try not to compare your journey. The places that you go and the way in which you get there are uniquely yours. Give yourself permission to chase what feeds your soul, even if it means you are the only one dreaming in that direction. Do not be afraid to follow your own path. There is beauty in our differences. Every year, 150 billion stars are born, all of them unique, rising and striving to create their own light. They never compare or compete, they just shine. You're a star, and the same light you notice in others burns inside you. The brightest light will always radiate from within. That's so cute. Anyway, so this isn't necessarily like religious, but I feel like God was really speaking to me through it, because this is exactly what I do every day. I look at other people's lives and I'm like, man, they've got it all. So stop doing that if that's you too, because it only takes away. And then I have this book called Embraced by Lisa Turkhurst, and she's awesome. And she's actually who I'm going to do the Bible study on in a few weeks. And literally, I don't know if you guys know this, but like I have not done my devotions or like my journaling in like a month. Like,
really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I've just been in like this huge rut, and I don't know if it's because of like other things going on, or just because I'm not waking up early enough. I don't know what it is, but I haven't done it lately. And this is literally the first time I've opened this book in April. And today. And this is what it said. And literally the title of this devotion is, why isn't God answering my prayer? So, like, anyway, and it opens up talking about Hannah and how Hannah was like super old before she was ever given a child. And she like literally prayed to God and was like, look at your servant's misery and remember me, and don't forget your servant. Basically, she's saying like, Lord, like, hello, I still exist. Don't forget about me down here. Like, I am miserable right now. And basically how over time, it says in the course of time, Hannah became pregnant and gave birth to a son, and how her faithfulness brought about what she desired. And so it was basically just talking about how we can all be found desperately wanting something that we see the Lord giving to other women. And if God is so good, why isn't he bringing good to me in what I want? So it was just encouraging people to like not pull away like I have been doing, but instead like keep pressing into the Lord. And it ended by saying, make sure that you fill the space where your heart aches with prayer, trusting that in the course of time, everything will work out according to God's perfect plan. Just remember that God is not ignoring you, and that he didn't forget about you and what you want, even though it might feel like it, but just stay the path and trust. Anyway,
That's good.
that's what the Lord's been teaching me. Sorry that I just like talked for like 5 minutes.
No,
But
that was good. Mine is like a couple like little things, and I feel like some of them kind of tie into yours. And then the devotion that I picked also kind of ties into both of yours, and like the notes that I wrote down. Basically, the thing for me is to not be so hard on myself and like not put expectations on myself and then onto others. And it's also like I try to like kind of like what Corinne was saying, like when like today she's thinking about tomorrow. Like, I spend so much time stressing about like the future that I'm not even like focusing on what's happening right now. I don't want to like waste my life that way. And it's basically just like stop trying to rush things. And before, when I was saying like expectations on myself, when I like do something that I don't want to, or like that someone in my life, like relationships and like friendships, like I need to not put so much expectations on them to be what I want them to be, because they're not going to be perfect. I feel like that's what I've been going through. They are their own person, and you can like plant seeds in them, but God is going to ultimately be the one to like work in them. And you should also be a reflection yourself on others. Like, people should be able to see God through you, and that's how you can help others, not by physically like putting so many burdens and expectations on them.
catch more bees with honey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also that like kind of goes into like having grace for yourself. I'm trying to like not be so hard on myself, give myself grace, give others grace, and just like try to put up parameters in my life so that I'm not like constantly burning myself out by like worrying about this and that.
Boundaries.
Yeah. If I do one simple thing wrong, I'm like, oh my goodness, like but I'm like, it's really fine.
If you go into it with a mindset of like, I'm only do things wrong, like you're right. So that's really hopeless, but you can't be so negative.
Basically, just stop being so hard on yourself.
And everyone else, yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like that is good for you, because I feel like you'll do that.
Yeah. So, I'm sure you've heard me talk about it. This is the Thrive Bible. It's so great. It's basically just like a regular Bible, but then like inside, it's so great. Inside of it, it has little like devotions and like little messages here and places to write and everything. And on the side, it has like, it basically just like makes you feel like God is talking right to you, because it literally says, love letter from God, dear God. Like, it just like, it makes you like when I'm singing and I'm reading it, I'm literally imagining God like saying that to me. So it's very nice. I'm trying to find the one.
It's very good.
It's very nice. I'm trying to find the one. Okay, this is the one that I read yesterday, and I took some notes on it, and I also posted it on my Instagram. So I don't know if you
Shout
read
out.
it. I don't know if you read it.
I did read parts of it, yeah.
Okay. And I feel like it also kind of ties into some things that you guys were saying, just like little things I thought of. So I was like, Okay. So this one is called Higher Purpose. And so it starts off with a quote from the Bible. It says, "And please remember me and do me a favor when things go well for you. Mention me to Pharaoh so he might let me out of this place. For I was kidnapped from my homeland, the land of the Hebrews, and now I'm here in prison, but I did nothing to deserve it. Genesis 40:14-15. The love letter from God says, Beloved child, I know everything about you and I always remember you. I know that you can't always see me in your circumstances and that there are so many things in this world that are unjust. You live in a fallen world, but the future I have for you can't be altered by injustice. Joseph was my chosen one. He was thrown into prison unjustly, but he finished his life in a palace. I placed him in the right place at the right time. What appears to you as a dead end is often my divine intervention. Don't focus on your outward circumstances. Look for my plan and my purpose in all the places you go, and you will begin to find the wonderful works I have created for you to do. Love your Heavenly Father. The reflection says, when life seems to be falling apart, we often find ourselves falling into God's perfect plan for our lives. We find Him in the unlikeliest of places, including painful experiences that will prepare us for the purpose He has for us. The Treasure of Truth says, God's plan comes through when our plans come to an end. So it's basically just stop, like I think the end when it says God's plans come through when our plans come to an end, like when we stop trying to control everything and like you guys said, like trusting Him with everything, like that's when things will start to happen because you're not trying to like keep a grip on everything, like release
That is
the hand.
literally impossible.
I know. It's so hard.
I don't know how to do that.
I know.
Because I feel like what's scary to me is the fact that like whenever I do have what I want, that's when I feel like I'm the furthest from the Lord. And so I feel like until I figure out how to be close to Him while also having what He gives me. Because then I'm like, no wonder I don't have a boyfriend, because when I have a boyfriend, I'm far from the Lord.
And it's because like you feel like you don't have anything like to pray for.
Right. Like when things are going well, which is so wrong because that's like the prosperity gospel. But I know, like again, I feel like that's part of what He's teaching
like
us
that's
is
what a
like,
lot of people have struggled with.
right.
Yeah.
Because we should be dependent on Him in the good and in the bad, not just in the bad.
I read this quote somewhere. It was like, God breaks 100% of the promises He never made. He didn't promise to like give you this. He didn't promise to do that.
I'm stressed.
So He.
There's something stressful.
This is not stressful.
Oh my God.
So it's like, what do you do when it doesn't look like what you planned?
Yeah, and that sounds so negative, but it's.
I know.
It's not.
But
like,
there's still hope.
but there is still hope. Don't you worry.
No, that's true. Because I feel like, little shameless plug, that's what the whole Bible study that I'm going to do is based on. It's literally called Uninvited. So it's basically like when you feel left out of something. Whether it could literally be like you were uninvited to a party, but it could also mean like there's a part of your life where you feel like you're not being fulfilled. So it's like when you feel that emptiness, like there is still hope and like the Lord is there to invite you in because He's always waiting with open arms. So even when it does feel like hopeless and negative and you feel like you're learning some really tough lessons, you still have that like ground to go back to. Anyway, that was a lot of talking.
Yeah.
But we want this to be like a place where we can talk about faith and people can feel encouraged and like you're not alone in whatever you're going through. So we hope that maybe something that you're learning is similar to what we are learning. All right,
Let's wrap it up.
perfect.
Oh. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. And yeah.
Okay. We hope you have a great week.
And we'll see you real soon. I just did guns.
Mia's always the like least enthusiastic when she says that. She's like, make sure to like and subscribe.
Make sure to like and
You always say about putting the
Yeah,
like
like,
introducing
you
the
literally
video
say that I
and then
should
the
be more
end
about,
was like
yeah, she's like, you need to be more energetic in the beginning, and then at the end she's like
because it's the
subscribe.
beginning, like it's
subscribe.
Like this is the end. Like nobody was even here.
If you made it this far through all of our
They
monologues,
should be here.
Make sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell.
That's so scary.
We'll see you real soon.